This is a new model that's in Sports Illustrated. What do you think of her right here?
Nice,
Yeah, you digging that?
nice.
Right. This right here is Valentina Sampio, who was the first transgender Sports Illustrated swimsuit model.
Oh my fucking god. Fucking god. Fucking god.
What is a model? A model is a three-dimensional representation of a person or a thing or a proposed structure, typically on a smaller scale than the original. Moreover, like a model is, it's a replica, it's a copy, it's a representation, a mock-up, a dummy, an imitation or a double, okay? A system or a thing used as an example to follow or imitate. So basically, a model is a representation of something else. It's an imitation. It's something it's not what it's trying to be. I mean, you can say that, you're attracted to this woman and that she's the most beautiful model and she's the best at what she does. But the reality is, if you really pay attention to what it is that you're looking at, you're looking at a model. And, like I always say, people, ultimately, they tell you what they're about one way or another. Sometimes they tell you directly. Sometimes they tell you overtly. Sometimes they tell you physically. But people tell you what they're about. And right now, I mean, what we live in, as far as I can see, is it is a world of models, a world of replicas, a world of mock-ups, of imitations. Because you can ask any man, any real man, and we'll tell you straight up, the most beautiful women that we've seen, the hottest chicks we've ever looked at are girls that live in our neighborhoods. They're girls we've seen in school and college. They're girls we see down the street. They're girls we've seen out at bars or wherever we go. Those are where the hottest women we've seen have been in our lives. They haven't been on TV. And that's something that I think everybody should think about. If you're being serious about facing reality, the hottest women you've ever seen have been women that you've seen in your everyday life. I've seen girls in my everyday life that have been so stunning, so drop dead gorgeous that you think to yourself, well, why is this girl not famous? Why is this woman not, on one of these catwalks or walking across one of these runways or somewhere on television? And, the answer is simple. Because she's not a model. If you get what I'm saying, she's not a model. And that's the reality of the situation. You're looking at a woman who's not a model versus a woman who is a model. Or I shouldn't say a woman, but looking at a woman versus a model. Okay? So let's look at it in those terms. You have a woman, which you'll see in your everyday life, versus a model, which you'll see when you stare at a black mirror. When you stare at your phone, or you look into one of your television sets, and you look on the big screen, and there you'll see your models. But in reality, in your everyday life, more often than not, you'll see a woman, you'll see a girl, and that's the difference. And we live in a world of replicas, of fakes, of frauds, and it's celebrated. Nobody wants authenticity in the real world. They don't want that. They want the fake stuff. They want the stuff that can be simulated, and then on top of that, they want you to lust after it, and they want you to think about it 24/7, 365, and that to be your reality. They want you to live in a world of models. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of us real men who've seen real women, it's so ridiculous to look at these films nowadays. It's so ridiculous to look at pop culture and what's happening, what's hot. These songs with these ridiculous people singing, songs about nothing, songs about shaking your ass, songs about doing something stupid, songs about living a lifestyle of just wasting what limited resources you're able to have to impress somebody who, for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, shouldn't even be alive. If we get right down to it, we get down to that brass tacks. But that's just my opinion. It's a lot of wasteful nonsense, and it's a world of an archetype, of a version, of a style, of a mold, of a template that is, in fact, just a lowly imitation of reality.
Here's a model who broke new ground, Andrea Pejic, who started as a male and became the most successful androgynous runway model ever.
Oh, yeah, working for names like Marc Jacobs, Jean-Paul Gaultier, big names.
Yeah, and now Andrea has completed her transgender transformation, and she's telling us her story for the first time.
The first Black and Asian American transgender model to appear in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Lena Bloom is a trailblazer, but it wasn't easy.
Fucking God.
Here's a reason not to skip the gym. Houston's own Megan Thee Stallion, gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. She is the first female rapper to ever take the coveted cover pic. Megan calls it a dream come true. And she's not the only hometown gal to appear on the cover. Beyonce was the first singer to do so way back in 2007.
Fucking God.
Now, is it me, or does Sports Illustrated seem to have a lot of firsts? Yeah, I think that if we're serious about entertaining reality, if we're serious about what we're looking at, it's a very obvious thing that's going on here. Some very obvious deception, very obvious trickery. It's like me saying, oh yeah, I graduated from high school twice. What? Yeah. Yeah, how does somebody do that? You went and got your diploma, and then you turn around and went and got your GED. And then you turn around and went again, maybe a few more times. Nobody knows about. Yeah, now so I said all this to say, really, models, personally, model is, it's an imitation of reality. It's an imitation of the real thing.